Welcome to the Omni Podcast again for the second week now.
Technically the third, because I was sick as a dog.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I got the flu of some kind. It was not fun, and the second week my throat was just completely destroyed.
I love how you're like, I got the flu of some kind. Bro, you had the flu shot, so you had the flu.
I don't bring that up because some people are like, flu shot, don't do that, but some people are like, but do, and I don't want to get into that.
I just find it extremely coincidental.
That's for another podcast.
Anyway, so what we're going to be talking about today is the kneeling in the NFL leading on to the BLM, Black Lives Matter group, talking about how they feel at a Trump rally, which happened a couple of weeks ago, and we're just going to be touching upon those subjects. Non-controversially, we are going to be talking about the information and how certain people view it, because at this point, I personally don't have a particular view on these subjects. I just read about it, listen to what people have to say, and get a scope for how they feel.
I have a bit of an opinion on it, but I'll give that off at the end. It's really, again, we're a very moderate podcast here. It's never going to be like extremism of any kind. Just thoughts, like the actual factual news, and not trying to incite any more hate than the normal media already does create.
Exactly.
So, one video that I found that was actually sent to me by a family member.
Well, wait, first, just in case people don't know what the kneeling in the NFL is all about, because there are some people that just don't keep up with the news because the media is extremely negative. But basically what's going on is that the kneeling in the NFL is a protest, so to speak, where NFL players are kneeling during the national anthem and supposedly, apparently, not paying their respects to the American flag as well as to the country, and they're kneeling on behalf of equality. So, I mean, that's basically the gist.
I heard it was like that, mostly for the whole police brutality thing.
Right.
That's like why I heard like I'm sure it's for equality too, but I hear it's mostly for the whole police brutality.
Yeah, and that's the thing that also is kind of getting to me about this whole thing, is that so many people have so many different perspectives about what the kneeling is about. I've been hearing about that it's about equality with black people versus white people, and that it's about, the protesting for, anti-bad cops for BLM, etc. There's so many different, it's all within the general spectrum of the same thing, but there's such a broad range of things as to what people really believe it's about.
Exactly.
So, I find that kind of interesting. I looked up a couple of articles, and a couple of articles were saying different things, too. So, I think it depends on perspective, but that's the other thing when it comes to this topic, is that people are fighting over it so often and so much, but I don't feel like everybody actually knows what it's truly about, you know? I'm not going to lie, if I'm being completely honest, I don't know exactly 100% why they're kneeling, because I've heard so many different perspectives and so many different opinions.
And the thing to think about, too, is it's probably a case-by-case basis with each player. Each player could be doing it for this reason or that reason. But I want to get into the video that I'm going to show some audio clips from. And real quick, this video is not at all in the middle. This video is quite against the whole kneeling thing. This was given to me by a family member. It's called Now I Have Had Enough, and this is by Brandon Tanham, who destroys the NFL. I do know he was an ex-cop.
Okay.
Or he was a cop. He might still be a cop. I don't know if he was a professional player. He might have still been one. I will look that up more so afterwards. But that's for other people that actually want to look into this video, which I will put the link down in the description. But I'm going to use this video as a bit of as a baseboard. Is that what's called at a pool? Like a baseboard? No.
I have no idea.
You know, where you jump. Diving board. As a diving board into the subject. So apparently he's someone that's recognized by the NFL at least a little bit, and I saw his video, and he does have some strong, passionate opinions against the whole idea of the kneeling. I think it would be good to touch on those and then see the other perspective. So what I'm going to start doing is put in clips of audio from videos or God knows other podcasts or whatever, so we can touch on that. So real quick, he's going to talk about it's not about protesting, it's about the way that the players are protesting. I'm going to play that sound clip for you right now.
For all you people who just seem to not understand, let me clarify this for you, okay? It's not about the act of protesting. It's not about the act of believing in something and pursuing it. It's the way you're doing it.
So, there you hear him. He's talking about how it's not about the protesting itself, it's about the way that it's being done. I think that's really good. It goes right into what Tiffany said. Like, it's kind of like jumbled up, right? Like, people don't really know what the protesting is for exactly. There's all these different perspectives.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that makes a protest so good in America, any good protest that has ever been done, is a clear, steadfast message. With this whole kneeling thing, everyone's pissed for all these different reasons.
Right. And, I mean, at the end of the day, he's talking about how, like you said, it's not the protesting, it's about what you're doing to protest, like how you're handling the situation. And we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar, situation. You're talking about the NFL. The NFL, like the churches, owns a day of the week for the most part when it comes to entertainment,
Yeah.
And like the churches, they own a day of the week, when it comes to Christianity.
One of the main forms of escapism.
Right, exactly. And you're talking about people that spend a lot of money to, sit in those seats and to watch those games and then to watch them at home, throw big parties for the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is one of the biggest events that we have here in America, where everybody, for the most part, most people... Sorry, most people really do like, and care. They like football and they care about the NFL. They do their whole world around football when it comes to fantasy football, when it comes to Super Bowl, when it comes to everything. So you're talking about a serious place to perform a platform on a subject that does not have, I guess you could say, the acceptance or the positive outlook on it.
Okay, I think, I see where you're coming from. From my angle, I feel that football is just like, or just any sport in general, people watch that not for political controversy or this or that. They watch it to, just to get away from it all.
Right.
It reminds me when I'm watching a video game video or some guys just playing a game or whatever, and all of a sudden, like when Trump and Hillary were trying to come into presidency, and then an ad would come up where it was like something about them bashing each other or something like that. Right. I was like, I don't care. I want to watch this dude pew pew at another dude in Halo. Like, I don't give a shit, Yeah. But again, without the players, there would be no game type of deal. So they can speak their word, but I feel where some entertainers, not players, not just football players, but actors, a lot, especially actors, a lot of these entertainers feel the need to push their
political views,
their political view on their platform, and their platform was made for that, You're a football player, you're not a politician, or you're an actor, you're not a politician, or you're politician. Yeah. You're supposed to play your role. I mean, you may do that. This is freedom of speech. This is America. You can do what you allow. So I think that they're allowed to do what they want.
Yeah, I definitely agree that they're allowed to do what they want, but I can't tell you how irritating it is when I'm watching a movie, and I'm really excited to see this movie, and I go to the movie theater and it's got a political agenda attached to it. Unless you're watching a movie that is going to be about politics, like a documentary or something of the sorts, it is so irritating to sit there, liking a certain actor and actress and liking a certain director and realize their political views aren't exactly yours or completely different from yours, or they've got different opinions towards you. And yes, everybody can talk, everybody can speak, it is freedom of speech, but I can't tell you how irritating it is to me to have to watch the MTV Music Awards or watch the Grammys or watch the Academy Awards, and every single one has a person that has to stand up and state their political view and then bash the other political view that somebody else has. It just blows my mind as to how ignorant and arrogant people can be. And you're in entertainment. Entertainment can be all sorts of number of things to do. But when I'm watching a movie about, a chick flick, I don't want to hear about somebody's political view about how much they can't stand Trump and love Hillary. I don't want to watch a political view about how much somebody can't stand Hillary and loves Trump. I don't care at the end of the day. I have my opinion, you guys have yours. Why do you have to push it in everybody's face? Why do you have to put it out there in the open for everybody to hear, see, and witness all of the time? It drives me crazy. So I am personally somebody who loves watching football. I've loved watching football ever since I could remember, because my dad loved watching football. And I mean, just to see that, I was completely taken back. I was like, why? Tell me. I understand that there's a lot of problems in this world and in this country. I get it. But you're gonna kneel for, you're gonna kneel for this and comparatively degrade another thing, which people are saying is our country and our flag. It kind of blows my mind as to the audacity of being able to do something like that and thinking that it's okay when your platform is really a football player for entertainment purposes.
And that brings me to my next point. Brand Tatum actually brings up something about how this whole protest is kind of, conflicting. because of the national anthem and the flag, and I'll play that clip right now.
What does the national anthem have to do with these issues that people are bringing up? It is a separate issue. The flag and the national anthem has nothing to do with what you're talking about. You're talking about an anthem of hope and unity within this country that have made.
So this is another thing that Browntown brings up. It's the idea of how, it's conflicting, it's saying the wrong message. I'm sure that these, again, it's a very, just confusing ordeal, but it's also making viewers think that they're protesting the national anthem, which stands for freedom and posterity and unity, and the American flag, which stands for a lot of the same but a lot of different things.
Right.
People don't know which ones are you going against, and either way, why.
Right.
And my whole thing about how you're talking about with the entertainers and how they're how they're just making more controversy than there needs to be. I completely agree. I feel a lot more can be done. Sure, this whole kneeling thing is really brought down to the forefront of the viewership. I mean, everyone's heard about it. Everyone's talking about it at work, at school, it's everywhere.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, that it has blown up into such a proportion to be able to be talked about everywhere you go.
Yeah.
I can't tell you, I have a friend who never talks about politics, and she's like, so what do you think about this kneeling and the football thing? I'm like, do you have any kind of view on politics? She's like, well, no, but it's kind of interesting, right? I'm like, wait, do you watch football? And she's like, no. And I'm like, see, this is the problem. It's I'm getting it from everywhere.
I don't watch football. I don't even watch football. That's another thing about me and Tiffany. Tiffany was watching football with Dad and whatnot, and I was too scared to come in the room because he was yelling at the TV and stuff like that. I was like, I want to play my video games. And that's another. Tiffany was a sporty, I'm the dude, and she was more sporty about it. But I attribute it to when Tiffany was trying to teach me how to play baseball, and we were playing catch.
This?
Yeah, we are doing this right now, dude. I will hold that to you. I was 5 years old, but I'm not gonna forget about it until I'm 95, right?
Really?
I was 5 or 6, and we were playing ball, and Dad was like, get Brandon into sports. He needs something, And so she was tossing me the ball, and she was like, Brandon, why are you such a fucking dumbass? Why can't you catch the ball?
I did not! Oh my god, if you're gonna say something, you have to tell the truth.
Okay, well, I'm just exaggerating for entertainment,
Extreme exaggeration.
So she's like, Brandon, catch the ball, or do something,
I was like, come on, Brady, you got this, catch the ball.
But here I am, all I want to do is play,
video games. You just want to go inside.
Yeah, I just wanted to play Halo 2.
Blaming it on me.
And Tiffany's like, come on. And so I think she kind of threw a little bit faster of a pitch.
I did not. I threw the ball because I was like, come on, Brayden. And you weren't paying attention because you were so off in La La Land where you're like, I just don't want to be here. That you weren't paying attention. And it hit you right in the balls. And that's not my fault. I didn't mean to do that.
Right
I didn't mean to do that.
In the baby makers.
Okay, alright.
And so...
I've never seen him cry like a little girl ever before, and it kind of freaked me out, and I thought I was in big trouble. Felt really bad.
I've had, I think it's at least 2 distinct memories where you need me in the balls, and I fell down and cried. No, throughout my whole life.
Yeah.
Oh!
Throughout your whole life, I don't think I've ever purposely hit you in the balls.
Oh.
It just happened, because we were, playing, or we were wrestling, or we were, you make me sound like such a horrible person. I did not purposely do anything like that.
It's all good.
Sure.
Anyway, this brings me to my point.
Yeah, right? What?
It brings me to my point of how somebody like Tiffany, who's actually done fantasy football and paid money and stuff like that for that, and me, who's never really paid to go to a game or really been super interested. I mean, hockey's fun because people beat the shit out of each other. But that's it. Sorry, I'm honest. But that's how big that this has grown. And I feel that these players, sure, they've made their platform, they've gotten attention, but I don't believe in the whole thought of any attention is good attention. Hell no. I feel that they could have done a whole lot more.
Right.
Imagine seeing a news article player goes and stands at a rally or somewhere and gives a speech on this subject, or goes and helps out a community that's in need for this reason. Kneeling during his job and causing controversy across the whole population in America and pissing people off, that's something else.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there's definitely a lot of people that feel that this is good and that this is helpful, which I mean, it could be to a degree, it could help some people, but honestly, from what I've heard, it's half people are just angry, and the other half of people that I've met just like they just don't care. They're just like, okay, whatever, that's my football game.
They don't care. They're just completely confused.
Yeah.
Like, what is this actually about? Which is going to lead me on to the next point that we're going to make. At a Trump rally, I want to say it was 2 weeks ago, at a Trump rally, a BLM protest group came forth. BLM is Black Lives Matter. And they came forth, and the Trump rally, the person that was, I don't know his name, but he was staging the thing, the hosting it, he, tells him, come up on stage, I want to hear what you have to say. And I believe we have a clip for that, and we'll insert it here.
Right.
So what we are going to do is something you're not used to, and we're going to give you 2 minutes of our platform to put your message out. Now, whether they disagree or agree with your message is irrelevant. It's the fact that you have the right to have the message. Just like all of them have the right to their message.
Can you hear me? Yeah! My name is Hulk Newsom.
So as you heard right now, just there, you have the right to have your message. So he brings them up on stage, and they decide to, send the message that they want equality for black people, that, they believe that black people are more, gone after than white people are when it comes to the police. And they're not anti-cops, they're anti-bad cops. And we'll insert that here too. We'll insert all of it. When we get the chance, we'll insert it into this podcast. But in this Trump rally, the BLM says, say we don't want handouts. They said that, they just want to be equal. And then somebody in the audience, in the crowd, says, well, all lives matter. That's what we all want. And then they agreed, yes, all lives matter. The BLM leader says that he wasn't completely surprised afterward that many Trump supporters wanted his picture afterward. And this is because they all agreed. They agreed that it's not just about black people or white people or Asian people or any race or ethnicity. It's about everybody. We all want equality. We all want to be here. We all want to be okay. We all want to be, given opportunities and advance in those opportunities. We all want that. And, the people at the Trump rally, all they told them was, all lives matters. And then the BLM were like, yeah, we agree. And they were like, okay, so what's the problem? And they're like, equality. And they're like, we agree, and everybody said they agreed. And like the leader said for the BLM, he said that, he was totally surprised in that Trump supporters wanted his picture afterward, because we're all human beings. And I do believe 100% that most of the human beings that are on this planet, in this world, in this country, want equality and want freedom and want the best for everybody. There are a select few that are complete idiots, in my opinion, that don't, because they have been raised a certain way or they think a certain thing, and that's it.
The stupidest are the loudest, always.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we just can't come to this consensus of how people really do want the best for other people, all of them. I don't believe that it's the masses that, are racist, or it's the masses that don't want equality, or it's the masses that don't want the best for everybody. I believe that it's a very select few, and they're being so put on the spotlight because they are the loudest, and because the mass media loves the controversy, because it creates more ratings and more money, and it's all about greed. And at the end of the day, I really don't believe that there are people out there in the majority that don't want equality for everybody. I believe that there is a huge majority, group of people in the majority, obviously that's what it means, that want equality for everybody. Exactly. And I'm getting so tired of stunts like the kneeling during the national anthem. If you can't see that the masses want equality and want to be peaceful and united and to be happy and to all be free, I don't know what to tell you at that point. Like, I don't know how to sit here and say, I don't agree with you, because I don't believe you, because then those people that don't agree with you are the loudest. They will sit there and debate you and disagree and say, no, the majority doesn't want equality. There are so many more racist people out there. The majority, listen guys, I don't walk down the street and look at a black person and go, oh my God, I gotta go the other way. Or I gotta, I don't feel that way. Like, I look at them, I smile. Sometimes they say hi to me, I say hi back. Because, want to know why? Because they're human beings. It's the same thing with a Hispanic person. It's the same thing. Like, and I'm sure they look at me, and I'm sure the majority of them are like, they're not like, oh, white girl, like, look at her. Like, I'm pretty sure they're not like that, because I'm pretty sure they just look at me and they're like, what's up? And I'm like, hi.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that the masses really want a war or a revolution, or, you know, they hate each other, they don't want equality. I think the masses just want to be peaceful, united, and happy.
And not have to deal with it so much.
Yeah, because it's always in your face so often. Facebook, Instagram, like...
And you brought up a really good point with the whole news and how the whole ratings thing and amping it up. And one thing that I have to say that I even hate about talking about this whole thing is that we're probably going to get a few more viewers than we got last. We got like, what, 100, 130 views? Yeah. It was nothing but building up. You know, we're probably going to get a few more views this time because this is a controversial matter.
Right, and that bothers me too, that it's like, oh, we're going to get more views and more, spotlight on this.
I don't want that. The reason why I bring this up is not for that. I mean, sure, viewer base is nice, but I don't want to base my whole, you know, podcast on controversy. Right. If anything, I believe two things help. One, being able to show perspective as to why the situation shouldn't be the situation that it is, and why it should be, you know, calmed down. Or two, just leave it alone altogether. And I didn't want to leave this one alone, especially when there's like such good to talk about.
And I'm sure that there's going to be some people that listen to this podcast and they're like, well, if you guys didn't want to talk about it, if you don't want to hear it, why bring it up, you know? And it's because I want people to know that I feel, and that, I don't know if you feel.
I definitely feel the same way.
Okay, so we feel that the masses want, you know, the best, you know, and that it is so ridiculous. I'm so tired of listening to these things or hearing them about how somebody has such a strong opinion and their opinion's right no matter what. Listen, guys, at the end of the day, nobody's ever right or wrong. It is a matter of perspective as to how you view things. You know, you perceive them, you look at things, you hear things, you taste things, all of it. It's a matter of perspective. Yes, you have factual information. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, guys, it is solely based opinion. Yeah. And that's why I don't understand why so many people are fighting about it so constantly. Like, it is constantly. Oh, yeah. And it's so disheartening. It's just disheartening. So the reason why we're talking about this is because I'm tired of people having opinions that are so completely like just at each other. They're like yelling at each other through comments on YouTube and through like Facebook posts. They're screaming at each other. And it's like, why? Like, I guarantee you if I walked down the street and you passed me by, that I would say hi to you or smile at you, and you and I would have no problem. Yeah. You know?
And I feel like it's definitely got more at hand because it's not only gone to the internet, like, it was always like that. It's always been on the internet, people being assholes, like, more so now, but it's also to the fact where there's protests now and there's a lot more in real life videos where people are just ganging at each other about this stuff like that. It's not just like back in early 2000s, mid 2000s where people would just like, you know, send little hate messages on an internet board. Now there's like real life videos where people are getting in fights and like protesting, just like fighting when, like, honestly, like, this Black Lives Matter video, like, the video is titled Trump Supporters Allow Freedom of Speech for BLM Members on Stage at Moore Rally in New York.
Yeah, and that's another thing. They allow it. Like, come on. Like, this is a country, and we have freedom of speech, no doubt. Yeah. So there's no allowing it either. It's just, that's it. It happens. It's happening. Get over yourselves. Everybody needs to get over themselves. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you.
No. If anything, it should have been titled "Give Podium Over." You know, exactly. It was their rally. You know, but they didn't allow. Like, yeah, technically they allowed them. They just gave them their podium. They gave them their soapbox in a sense over to them for 2 minutes, and it goes into 3 or 4 minutes where the guy just talks. And here I'm going to play the clip real quick where the leader of the BLM, how he talks about how amazing the whole situation was and how he got pictures with the like sons and daughters of these big like Trump groups, like motorcycle groups, and a 4,000-man militia, leader of a 4,000-man militia. Here's a clip.
They agreed. I feel like we made progress. I feel like two sides that never listened to each other actually made progress today. Did I expect to go on that stage? No. A man who controls a 4,000-member militia shook my hand and said, I always knew I identified with you, but today solidified it. Wow. One of the heads of Bikers for Trump came up and shook my hand, asked me to take a picture with his son. A little blonde-haired kid named Jacob, like, that's special. Like, here I went from being their enemy to someone they want to take pictures with their children, and that's the power of communication.
So, yeah, there's the little clip from the video, and honestly, like, if anything, I don't know if you guys really want to hear about the kneeling video, but you should at least see this Trump-supporting, like, rally, like, congeal with this BLM group, because it's really just a special moment during all the hate and all the bullshit. You know, obviously it's the outlier, but it's a very nice, positive video where they can kind of come together, and it's really on a case-by-case basis. I truly believe, like 90% of the time, even like 95, 99, if you get two people in a room and they just talk, and find common ground on anything, be it sports, I don't know, video games, guns, stupid shit, that they can like realize like, oh, this is another human being just like me.
Right, that reminds me, there was this video, and we gotta look it up and put it on here, but there's this video where two people go in and make I think it's an IKEA chair together, or a table, or something. It's like an IKEA table, and they've got like 4 groups of people. It's like a commercial. And 2 people go in, and there's 8 of them, obviously, all in groups of 2, and they make this table not knowing who the other one is. They get to know each other just making this table, and then afterward they find out who they are. So you have a woman there that's actually a transgender that was a male who turned into a female, and she was in the U.S. Army. And then you have a gentleman there who helped her make this chair, and she helped him make this chair. And he's standing there, and he's actually from the military. He's actually from... Okay, yes, sorry. I'm not talking into the mic. My brother's reprimanding me.
Sorry, no.
So, and he was in the military, and he's highly against transgender. And they tell them, at the end of them making this table or this chair or whatever it is, and they tell him, she's a transgender, and he's very highly against it. And they say, now, if you want to, you can go ahead, sit down, have a beer, and talk. Or you can leave and walk away. Now, wait. So they do that. They say that, and the military guy just looks at her, and he walks away. And then he comes back, he's like, I'm just kidding. There's no way I couldn't sit down.
Yeah.
Right, he's like, there's no way I couldn't sit down and have a beer with you. I mean, tell me how you feel, tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And it was the coolest commercial, because it was like, and then they had the group where there was a feminist woman and a man who was extremely highly against feminism. Yeah, and they sat down and they talked to, and they ended up finding that they really liked each other. So guys, I really don't believe that this is about opinions and how we all dislike each other and how we all disagree. I think that this is just about communication and understanding one another and not getting so worked up about it. And realizing that the masses really do want love, peace, and unity.
Sweet. So that's like, we're coming down to the line here. We're going to probably end off in like a minute or two, but I really like that you bring up that video. It's kind of like how you get like an atheist and like, a Christian like preacher together and smoke pot and just talk, like those videos.
Those videos are the best.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
I would love to take one of those and psychoanalyze it and like, just use it for, a diving board. But one video that I wanted to bring up to your attention, or one podcast that we could, jump into, is, have you ever heard of an incel or the red pill? Have you ever heard that whole movement?
Like the red blue pill with Matrix.
Yeah. So the red pill is like seeing the idea and like seeing what it's all about, right?
Right.
Well, there's been some subreddits where it's all about these white straight males, like me, I'm a white straight male, but I'm not like these guys. Because their whole gig is how they want to take the red pill and look at how ridiculous women are and how they're so, distraught over not being able to get a girl and like, poor me, woe is me.
Oh,
it's
it's like, why do you put the guy in the friend zone kind of thing?
Yeah, shit like that. Like, these guys are such crybabies, and I see their stuff, and their opinions are straight, not my vibe, because they're very, like, oh, you gotta pay for the win. Like really just ridiculous stuff and like making it like over the top. And I don't even have my facts with me, but I wanted to go over it with you and see if it's possibly like video worthy. Because there's been like a small influx. Thank God it's small. But these dudes that truly are like, it's women's fault, not my own, that I'm a lonely man. And it's like, wow, cry me a river. And it's a straight white male. Like, it's like, dude, really, like, be a man.
Yeah, I would actually really love to do a podcast on that, because I also want to go into the whole like feminist and like friend zone and everything like that kind of thing. Because it is such an interesting, like all those concepts are so interesting as to how people view different things in the different perspectives. Because when you hear a man's opinion, you're like, oh my god, that is so wrong. It's not even funny. And when I'm sure you hear a woman's opinion, some men are like, oh wow, that's extremely wrong. Yeah. Because we're just so different.
At the end of the day, it usually all strives from an extreme amount of entitlement and how people feel that they need something while giving nothing.
Exactly.
Or little to nothing.
Absolutely.
Alright, so we are coming down to the wire here. I'm going to do my little post thing. So Tiffany, you can send us off now.
Alright guys, we will talk to you later and do another podcast in a couple of days. But in the meantime, don't forget to live a good life, and we will see y'all later. Bye.
Hey guys, this is Bram Bartocci here. I am doing a post-podcast
monologue, I guess you could say, or speaking, voicing. Anyway, what I'm trying to get to is that me and Tiffany this is our second episode, so we're going to be uploading this, and we're trying to continue this, and we talked about, instead of doing an hour episode each week, we wanted to break it down into 2 30-minute episodes, twice a week. So one on Sunday, one on Wednesday, and this will allow us to talk about more subjects, spend less time on one subject, because we can pretty much get our message out in, 30 minutes. If we want to talk about more, we could do like a part 2 or something like that, because we see that we have a lot of subjects that we want to talk about, so doing it just one subject once a week just won't be enough. But, I also wanted to do this because I want to put all plugs in here for right now. We don't have all the social media coverage, like Twitter, and, that's really the only big one that I could think of other than YouTube and the things that we already host this podcast on. But maybe one day, when we feel the need to make those and make a hashtag, we will do so. Anyway, I wanted to say, if you liked the video or you enjoyed it, please please subscribe, please comment. I don't mind if it's a critique or if it's a dislike. At the end of the day, at least showing publicity is there, I hope you don't dislike us so much to the point where you wish that we don't get any coverage, in which case that sucks. But even if you dislike it, I would love to get a critique, because I know that me and Tiffany aren't perfect, but I do think we definitely have some great margin for potential with this whole medium. Anyway, we are putting these podcasts on Buzzsprout. We are putting them on SoundCloud and YouTube, and I'm trying to look for other viable places to put them. Not just everywhere, because I'm sure that there are a lot of websites where they just will be completely buried. Of course, the only place where we've gotten actual views is YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. And we're going to see how far we can get along with this. And at the end of the day, we just enjoy doing this. Having a creative project is huge. So, that's all I gotta say here. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and expect a little Rick and Morty, controversial, discussion for Wednesday. We're not being controversial, but it's on a controversial topic. Anyway, thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.